Hello, Sweet Tooth here. Hope your day is going well. Hakuna Matata! Let's play some more Danganronpa. Trigger Happy Havoc. And begin. Go right into it. Punk. Yep, the investigation. I better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Okami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Huh. I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that? The only way to get into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with a chair from inside the rec room, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right? In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing in a lot in mystery books, movies, or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? Right before our very eyes like this? But is this real life? Or is this a game? Video game. Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind. When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right? The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. So, basically the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that. But in this case, it doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we could probably cross that one off the list. The third type is when the killer stays in a room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that? They stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible. Maybe. And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room? By that I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see, this is a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too? I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, there are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Think, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case? That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. Let's see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. Yet I could see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Huh. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to stop vomiting blood? Not a chance. Bayakura? However, our eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting? Yes, most interesting, don't you agree? No, I don't think I could call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Alright, fine, I'll click on the door. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism is used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room. It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein, and she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments. I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem lab. But that's strange. Huh? What is? You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. There must be parts of the window I broke to get inside. But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. Why does that matter? I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I could see how. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening, and there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. What do you want? You bother me. Go away. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. Let it go before he crushes my soul completely. I guess. But for Sakura to have been killed. Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight. And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right? Certainly they wouldn't need to if they expected to stand any chance against her. This looks like some kind of wrapper. That's... You recognize it, Hina? Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her to calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much? But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they're lost all their flavor. Huh. There's a bloodstain in front of the magazine shelf. Must have come from Sakura, right? But it doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Oh, there's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is, how'd they get those figures inside the bottles? It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You never seen it? Oh yeah, maybe I have. So this is a Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with the Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figures are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. The locker is open, and there's on the inside. It's a handprint. What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker, and left a handprint in all the dust. Looks quite fresh, too. I say someone was hiding here in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locker room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group? Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not? Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the wrecked room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point. So there's no way someone could have been in there until after we opened it. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? We already know who did it. Yakuba, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. We couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon. The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Nina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her. and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. What do you have to say about this, mister? Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes? But what fool would do that, what it said, and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. Oh, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part. Did I get a promotion? Do I get to be Investigator Senior Junior? Then you should probably go talk with people now. What kind of people? I'm going on the guard duty, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. See you guys later. Would you just open the door, Makoto? God damn it. Gotta press the R button. The R key. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. Lazy bums. Press the doorbell. So you're back to normal? Genocide Jack isn't around anymore? Don't even say her name, it makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood too. She did it look like she was in a good mood. Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time? Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall. What do you want? You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I want to talk to you about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she hadn't asked to meet with him. But she wanted to meet with Master too. Oh, I just said two, didn't I? There's that weird noise again. Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was so scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? I'll go back to my room. But that Toko quickly retreated into her room. Bye-bye. What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How did you know about that? Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? Yes, Yasuhiro, I am now the ghost of all life. But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? Well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note, she gave it to me in person. She happened to mention the others, like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura? No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious. The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office. I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Well, I still have it. Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets. Oh, sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh? Quick as a wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket. Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash? Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. Oh well, if you'll excuse me. Okay. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. He could have said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Okay, so I've heard from Token Hiro. What's next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the Quim lab. The Quim lab. So, where should I start? To the Quim lab! That's going to be a long walk. Let me just use my map. At this point, just use your map. It's a lot quicker. Anybody following me? I'll kick your butt. Makoto style. Makoto, did you have your eye on the Chem Lab too? Hell yeah, I did. To make sure you don't get in my way. You can get out of my way too. Punk. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. No! Get out of my way. Get out of my way! Alright. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the protein powder came from? Or the powder? It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Kim C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? Not from you. I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. This powder must have been spilled. That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. That really is when it happened, and must be related to the case somehow. There's a bunch of yellow powder. Let's say powder. Powder scattered on the floor. I better not leave a footprint. These are footprints. And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen. Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. So I got to work. Before long, I had drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me? So when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to, and then left. And that's what the footprints tell me. These footprints must be... Makoto, are they yours? No? Okay, then let me see your shoes. I'll confirm their size for myself. Couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see, so your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? But with how clear these footprints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. You! But these prints are a really valuable clue. I should probably take a good look. Good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. Looks like the bottle was labeled Kim C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left. Yeah, I know. You said that 3 times. You already said that too. No need to repeat all this. I got it. What's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelf in unit section A. Oh, but wait. There's one bottle here that's labeled Kim C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? It's a possibility. So on this shelf is... looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. But simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. Have you lived in such ignorance for so long? You must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh? What, you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world? The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf and poison in Byakuya tomorrow morning. If we survive. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with letter B on and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit, section B. Because that is a letter B, huh? Come on, Makoto. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. What about this shelf? On this shelf, on one look and I can tell it has nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit, section C. I should try to find out more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A and... But what concerns me is this section A. What was a bottle of poison from section C doing in section A? I don't know. There's definitely something going on here. No, definitely. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take another look at the rec room. Alright. Byakuya, don't you have anything better to do? Get out of here. Alright. Ooh, man. Can I go mess with the headmaster door? No? So Makoto, how's your investigation going? It's going pretty good. I got a big old cream cheese and everything. You want anything from the dining hall? Tokiyoko, Toko, and Hiro had told me. I see, so along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying. You savages. Well, I've made some progress on my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You do well to look them over one more time. Really? Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new, something new. How did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is? I don't mind guiding you toward clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusion so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer. I do trust you, to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree. Yes. There are 2 missing bottles. Why can't you see that there are 2 missing bottles? One other thing about the Monokuma bottles has bothered me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment? Would it be of great magnitude? Can you gather up all the pieces to the broken Monokuma bottles? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that? I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. That obnoxious Byakuya is not here, so... Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up the glass. Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is all about, but what choice do I have? Better do just do it. Took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. My maid skills increased by 1. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting. Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So what kind of experiment were you doing? I got a scale from the skim lab. Skim lab. I don't know why I keep calling it that. We're going to use it to compare the weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected in one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. Makes sense when we're done. First, let's compare the weight of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced. Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. Monokuma figures inside are basically the same. And nothing else could really affect the weight. Now, here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up one side of the scale. Well, might we expect? Normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all. There's a chance I could have missed some here and there. Okay, then let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier. How is that possible? Just as I thought. What? The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together. And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. Wow. What was the other 2 things you wanted me to look at? Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She's completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there are still some times. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it. That's totally normal. And how can you? I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind. More importantly, look here. Her shoes. You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out. Well, that powder is clear number 1. Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully, you clueless dimwit. Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot. So let me just explain. It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow. But instead she received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows? Interesting, wouldn't you say? There's one more interesting thing. Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one. So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Yep. Yep. This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident? If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. Picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is one of the pages. Near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in bold, bloody letters. And it said, Toko. Could this be a dying message? It would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this? It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message. But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it. Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. There's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. You can see why you would think that, but this seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Oh, great. Oops, you caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Can I? Can I? Can I? Can I? Okay then, let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon. I'm all ready. Already time? The mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Back. Why does Makoto have to go through this? It's a crazy world we all live in. Crazy world we live in. I want to thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. I hope you have yourself a good day, and this is Sweet Tooth signing off. I love you.